Long ago, Jesus stood by the sparkling lake of Gennesaret. A huge crowd followed him, eager to hear his wonderful stories about God. Nearby, a fisherman named Simon Peter was washing his empty nets after a long, tiring night. Jesus stepped into Simon Peter's boat and asked him to pull out a little way from the shore so he could teach the people. When Jesus finished teaching, he told Simon Peter, "Put out into deep water and let down your nets." Simon Peter was tired, but he obeyed. Suddenly, the nets became so heavy they began to tear. There were so many fish that another boat had to come and help. Simon Peter fell at Jesus' feet in wonder. Jesus smiled and said, "Don't be afraid. From now on, you will fish for people." One day, while Jesus was teaching in a house, 4 friends brought a man who could not walk. Because the house was so crowded, they climbed onto the roof and lowered the man down on his mat right in front of Jesus. Jesus saw their great faith. He looked at the man and said, "Friend, your sins are forgiven. Get up, take your mat, and go home." In another town, a Roman centurion sent word to Jesus. His servant, whom he valued highly, was very sick. The centurion was a man of great authority, but he was humble. He believed that Jesus didn't even need to visit his house to heal his servant. He believed Jesus only had to say the word, and it would be done. Jesus was amazed by the centurion's faith and healed the servant instantly. Later, as Jesus approached the town of Nain, he saw a sad funeral procession. A widow was crying because her only son had died. Jesus felt great compassion for her. He touched the coffin and said, "Young man, I say to you, get up." Jesus and his disciples later set sail across the lake. As Jesus slept peacefully on a cushion, a fierce windstorm swept down. The waves grew tall and crashed over the boat. The disciples were terrified and woke him, crying out, "Master, Master, we're going to drown." Jesus stood up and rebuked the wind and the raging waters. "Peace, be still," he commanded. Immediately the storm vanished, and the lake became as smooth as glass. The disciples were amazed and whispered to one another, "Who is this? He commands even the winds and the water, and they obey him." As Jesus returned to the shore, a woman who had been sick for 12 years pushed through the crowd. She thought, "If I can just touch his clothes, I will be healed." The moment her fingers brushed the hem of his cloak, her illness disappeared. Jesus turned and said kindly, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace." While Jesus was still speaking, a man named Jairus, a leader of the synagogue, fell at his feet. He was desperate because his only daughter, who was 12 years old, was dying. He begged Jesus to come to his house. Even when people came to say it was too late, Jesus told Jairus, "Don't be afraid, just believe." When they reached the house, Jesus went inside to the little girl's room. He took her by the hand and called out, "My child, get up!" At once her spirit returned, and she stood up. Her parents were overcome with joy. Jesus told them to give her something to eat, showing everyone that he is the Lord of life.